Hello, my name is Asam Zimsonda Mwamba. In this video, I'll be explaining the steps that I have to take in order to legalize my entity. So in the first video, I explained my business plan for Onesound Audio. So now what is business legalization? Business legalization is basically the steps that one has to take in order to make sure that his or her entity is a law-abiding business. So here are the steps that I'll make sure that I'll take in order to register Onesound Audio and to make sure that it is paying tax. Introduction. This document explains the steps and requirements for registering Onesound Audio as a sole proprietorship business in Zambia. The goal of this process is to ensure the company operates legally, gains official recognition, and meets all national business compliance standards. So Onesound Audio intends to be fully compliant with the business regulatory system by registering under the Patents and Companies Registration Agency, which is PACRA, obtaining a taxpayer identification number, TIPIN, from ZRA, and opening a corporate bank account. So now, what are the steps that I have to take in order to make sure that Onesound Audio is legally registered and is able to remit tax to ZRA? So here are the steps. Step number 1, name search, business name submission and clearance. Name search. Checking if the business name you want is available for registration. Ensuring it's not too similar or confusing to an existing registration entity. This helps to avoid legal issues, rejection, or future brand identification. So this process is done in order to make sure that I have a unique name that is not already taken or which is already existing. Maybe there might be an entity which is already operating under that name, which is Onesound Audio. So this is very important in order for me to make sure that the name that I'm planning to be using for my business is not already out there. So this clearly helps me to avoid issues of rejection. So what are the things do I need in order to register my business name? So registering my business name, I need to submit 3 names to PACRA for name clearance. This step ensures the business name is unique and not available in use by another business or company. So here, PACRA requires me to submit a number with 3 names, and then these 3 names are later checked by PACRA through their database. Nowadays, this is mostly done even online. I can submit 3 names online on the PACRA website. So after PACRA approves for a name, 83 kwacha must be paid for name clearance and name reservation. So this 83 kwacha is just basically for name clearance and reservation, which once confirmed, once I make this payment of 83 kwacha, the name can be reserved for 30 days, for a period of 30 days. So in a case that I'm not able to register Onesound Audio as a business entity, I'm required to lodge for name reservation fee for up to 90 days, which is about 200 kwacha. So a name clearance certificate will be issued confirming that the name is valid and reserved exclusively for the applicant. So that's in a case that I'm not able to finish the process of registering Onesound Audio as an entity, which is a sole proprietorship entity. So I'll be required to pay 200 kwacha. So after getting a name clearance certificate, the next step is formal registration of business. This is where now business incorporation comes in. After receiving name clearance certificate, the business owner proceeds to formally register the business name with PACRA. This involves completing the business registration form, which includes details such as approved business name, business address, nature of business activity, and the proprietor's personal information. So now, after the first step, which was after I acquire that clearance name to say, okay, this is the right name that I can use, it is available for use, and it follows the guideline of names that an entity can have in Zambia. So the next step is making sure that I gather these documents, my documents, which the name which was approved by PACRA, which is Onesound Audio, then business nature. So basically, like I said in the first video, Onesound Audio will be dealing in audio engineering, music production, and equipment hire, and it is a sole proprietorship business. Business location, Chingola, Zambia. Founder, Sam Zimsonda Mwamba. And then here, that's where I make sure that I produce my NRC or passport just for recognition and knowing who really the founder of this entity is. So after submitting these documents, I'm required to pay 166, the required registration fee. Then PACRA officially registers Onesound Audio as a sole proprietorship business with a certificate of registration, confirming that the business is now legally registered and operate under its approved name. So after all these steps now, this is the last stage at which I make sure that Onesound Audio is a registered business entity. So this is after making sure that I produce the documents, which is name clearance certificate, and also explaining the nature of the business, legal structure, which is basically sole proprietorship business, the location of the business, founder, and the founder basically producing the NRCs or any other document that's required by PACRA. So after making sure that Onesound Audio is a registered entity, the next step is to make sure that I start remitting tax to ZRA. Now, what are the steps? Tax registration with Zambia Revenue Authority. So after registering the business with PACRA, at this stage, I have to register the business with ZRA to acquire a taxpayer identification number, which is basically a TIPIN. This is basically a legal requirement for all businesses in Zambia, and this enables the business to pay tax and operate royal-free. To register this with ZRA, a proprietorship submits the business registration certificate from PACRA, proof of identification, NRC or passport, and the business physical address. So this is basically where I'm planning to establish, or where this entity will be operating from. Once issued, the TIPIN allows Onesound Audio to fulfill all statutory tax obligation. So after making sure that I acquire a TIPIN number, which is a tax payer identification number, the next stage is to start remitting tax. Now I have to choose a tax type that I'll be paying to ZRA. So in this case, I've chosen to be paying a turnover tax, which is basically suitable for a small business entity like Onesound Audio. So I will register the business under the turnover tax, which is designed for small businesses with annual turnover below 800,000 kwacha. Under the turnover tax, the business is required to submit its tax returns to the Zambia Revenue Authority every month. So this is basically the total sales that I'll be making, that I'll make in every month. So I have to submit that to ZRA. These returns must be remitted every 14th day of the month that follows. So this is in a case that if this month is January, then I make sales. So the total sales that I make in this month of January, I have to make sure that next month, which is February, on the 14th, I have to make sure that I submit the total sales that I had made, and thereafter ZRA will issue out the amount that I have to pay as tax. So turnover tax, the tax is calculated at 4% of the total monthly gross sales, and this figure is determined without deducting expenses. So this is the total cost that I make in that month of January, minus deducting any expenses like money for rentals or salaries. So this is the actual amount of sales that I made in this month of January. So basically, for example, if Onesound Audio makes 50,000 kwacha on total gross sales in a month, the turnover tax is calculated at 4% of this amount. So this is basically the 4% of the 50,000 that I had made out of the total sales in that month. So in this calculation, of this 4% of this amount, so 4% of 50,000, this results in a liability of 2,000. So this 2,000 is basically the 4% of the total sales that I had made. So this is basically now the turnover tax that I'm required to pay to ZRA. So if returns are not remitted on the 14th of the following month, there are penalties that are charged by ZRA. Any late submission of a turnover tax will attract a penalty at 75 kwacha per month. So this is in a case that I don't hand in or submit my returns of that particular month. Then ZRA will issue penalties if I miss submitting the returns that I had made in a particular month. I have to make sure that I submit the returns that I make in every month on the 14th of the next month. So reasons for choosing turnover tax is basically that turnover tax is the simplest of the tax types in Zambia. Remember, we have taxes like income tax and VAT, which is value added tax. So this is basically one of the simplest turnover tax that one can be paying to ZRA. And then low administrative burden, no need for complicated tax returns. It is easy to pay and calculate. So this turnover tax is very easy for the administration to follow. Why do I say so? It's very simple to calculate, to know the amount that you need to pay to ZRA. Because all you need to know is the total amount of sales that you have made in that month, and then calculate the 4% of that total amount. Then that's the tax that you need to return to ZRA. So predictable payments. Tax is calculated as a flat percentage of gross sales, making cash flow easier to manage. Suitable for small business, aligns with business size and area operations. So it's basically suitable for small businesses like Onesound Audio, which is basically in its starting point. So this step ensures that Onesound Audio meets all national tax obligation in a way that is manageable and appropriate for small enterprises like Onesound Audio. So the fourth step that I would take is to opening a corporate bank account. So with PACRA business registration certificate, document, and the ZRA certificate, a corporate bank account should be opened under the business name. This is where, in a case that I want to be doing some transaction, I don't want people to be getting confused. So I want Onesound Audio to have its own business account name. So requirements include business registration certificate, which I had already acquired from PACRA, ZRA TPIN certificate. This clearly shows that Onesound Audio is basically a tax compliant business entity. Proof of address where Onesound Audio is operating, and then copies of proprietors' NRC or passports. So a business account improves professionalism, transparency, and financial management. So now the fifth step that I would take is local council business license. So in the area that I plan to establish this business entity, there are local councils that operate or make sure that every business is a law-abiding business. So after acquiring all the necessary documents for the business to operate legally, the other step is to make sure that the business gets trading permits and other necessary documents from the local council. These permits will allow Onesound Audio to operate in the specified location without any hindrance from the council. So benefits of legalizing the business. Legal registration of Onesound Audio provides the following advantages. Official recognition enables the business to operate legally in Zambia. Onesound Audio already has all the papers that are required of every entity to legally operate in Zambia. So this puts me in a suitable spot that I want with the operation of Onesound Audio won't be in hindrance by the government. And then financial access allows access to banks, loans, grants, and investment opportunity. The corporate world out there would want to associate or to do business with a business which is legally registered and is tax compliant. So with these documents at hand, I stand a chance of legally acquiring loans and any other forms of grants, maybe from the government. Yeah. And then professional image builds client trust and strengthens the brand reputation. So this basically will help Onesound Audio to do business with other corporate affairs. One, it will be a trustworthy company because it is legally registered and it's known by the government. And then eligibility for government contracts enables participation in tenders and public projects. Tax compliance ensures lawful operation with Zambia Revenue Authority. So by completing these steps, Onesound Audio will basically be a professional business entity which is legally recognized by the Zambian government. So with these steps taken, Onesound Audio will be legally registered as a sole proprietorship entity and will be free to operate